Everyone. The Chicago Bulls guard Coby White, he is quite an interesting player. He's a bit of a fire starter. Once he gets hot, he is hot. He is definitely that player that you want coming off the bench, that sixth man, that guy that can, provide that scoring bunches off the bench. But there's a lot of questions with his fit with the Chicago Bulls and what Chicago is planning on doing with him. And now there are reports coming out that the Los Angeles Lakers are targeting Coby White in a potential trade. Now, what that trade will detail, we do not know at this time. It's just being put out by the Los Angeles Times that Coby White is on the Lakers' radar. I would imagine that it wouldn't take probably too much from the Chicago Bulls to get a Coby White, but got to imagine it's going to be, a Kendrick Nunn or a THT. My problem is Coby White better than either of those players? I mean, he would be a better fit than THT with the team that is currently constructed, but Kendrick Nunn, I would rather keep Kendrick Nunn just on the fact that, he is, yes, a huge mystery. We don't know what's going to develop with him. But if he can get anywhere close to the Miami Heat Kendrick Nunn, that is, in my opinion, a huge upgrade over Coby White. And that is a guy that can be your third, fourth option on a team and really just help you win some games. Coby White, it's too much of it's too hot and cold for me. He's either just lights out or he can't find the hoop to save his life. Can't throw a rock into the ocean. But he would be a guy that if you could get him in some manner, right? You kind of give up maybe a couple draft picks, THT, maybe you get back Coby and somebody else. I don't know exactly, again, how it would work out. But you can make the argument. I still would personally rather keep THT. I'd rather them go and take THT and go get maybe a Cam Reddish or something like that. Somebody that's more versatile that could help now and potential for the future because the New York Knicks seem just determined to unload Cam Reddish. And the Lakers almost had a deal for Cam Reddish during the trade deadline last year. So if they could figure out a way to get that, or if they could figure out a way because the New York Knicks want to unload Cam Reddish. They want to clear some cap space, stuff like that. If you could figure out a way to get maybe Cam Reddish and Coby White, and you're giving up THT and maybe a draft pick, that I would do. I would do that all day. I wouldn't mind something like that. Plus, the Lakers are in a position they need those 2-for-1 trades, right? They got to fill out the rest of the roster. You get a big, solid wing that is young, that is good for the future in Cam Reddish, and you get a guy in Coby White who could be your Lou Williams style role and come off the bench, hopefully provide that spark night in and night out. Consistency, I think, is an issue for him, but if he can even be remotely consistent, having a guy like him who can be a shooter and then having a guard like, Russell Westbrook or LeBron James is going to open him up so many free, easy shots. So I'm not opposed to the Lakers getting Coby White. I actually think it'd be a really nice pickup, especially given what the team needs. But the concern is, what are you giving up? At this point, I would rather keep THT because I do think if he even shows a little bit of progress and some consistency, because you got to remember, he injured his shooting hand before the season began last season. So if he can, get his hand right, get his body right, and he becomes a more consistent shooter, then you might just keep him. But even if he is, league average, I think teams would take the chance and take the flyer on a THT, and I think you could get a better return than just Coby White. But like I said, this is all just a rumor, so we'll see what develops. I'm not opposed to the Lakers having this. I mean, he fits a need, right? Somebody that can score, somebody that can shoot, somebody off the bench. Defensively, bit of a liability. He's he doesn't have a ton of size. So this would just be solely just an acquisition and hoping that he could be your sixth man spark off the bench. You have guys like Stanley Johnson, Wenyen Gabriel, Anthony Davis around him to kind of make up for his lack of defense. And, those guys aren't great shooters in and of themselves. Anthony Davis is a guy that can be. We've seen him. I mean, if we can get bubble Anthony Davis back, then that would be tremendous. And Anthony Davis has been working with the lethal shooter, so hopefully he can kind of get his shot right. And if that's the case, then you have the pieces to kind of make up for a Coby White. But I just, I don't know what the Chicago Bulls would want. But if you can work out, like I said, a 3-team deal, the Knicks just kind of want to unload whatever they can unload or take back expiring contracts and free up cap space, things like that. So if you can kind of finagle and make it work, and you can get like a Cam Reddish or Coby White, get them together for a THT and say a first round, something like that. The first rounder goes to the Knicks. You got THT going to the Bulls, maybe if they even want THT, something like that. Or even Kendrick Nunn. Like, I would trade Kendrick Nunn for Coby and Cam Reddish in that case, because I just think, even though I really want to see what Kendrick Nunn can do and what he can bring to the table, I just think the Lakers need bodies more than anything right now. I just think that, with LeBron, Westbrook, and Davis, you're going to have enough scoring, but you need bodies to fill out the roster. Cam Reddish is young enough, and he can play multiple positions. He could be a solid guy for you, and he's young enough to where he could be a solid guy for you for years to come, not just this year. And the Knicks just seem desperate to get rid of him. So I'd rather see something like that unfold. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about the Lakers going after Coby White? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What would you be willing to give up for Coby White? The big issue, like I said, is just, like, is THT worth it? I don't think so, personally. I think THT has more upside as a whole from just all facets. I just think THT doesn't fit this Lakers team. I think if THT went to another team that, maybe had more flexibility, more time, was able to give him in a specific style role rather than two guys with LeBron and Anthony Davis and, Russell Westbrook, I just don't think that he fits what the Lakers have going on. But I do think he has a lot of upside and potential. I mean, he's shown some flashes of brilliance where Coby White, don't get me wrong, he's still young, but I think we kind of know what he is. He's never going to be that defensive guy. Like, the thing that makes THT so special, too, is his, like, ridiculous arm span for his size. And that's something that can't be taught. Where Coby, you're basically just getting a scorer. And yes, the Lakers need that. The Lakers need somebody that can knock down the outside shot, stuff like that. But I just think that, there's so many uncertainties after this upcoming season. Who would you rather have on your team if push comes to shove? Like, say LeBron leaves, say you let Westbrook go. Would you rather have Coby White or would you rather have THT on your team as, like, a focal point going forward? Especially if THT is, like, now your primary ball handler. He may be able to do a lot more and may be a lot more effective. Defensively, he's already pretty solid. So, would you give up THT? Would you, give up maybe Kendrick Nunn? Even Kendrick Nunn, I see that guy that was, on the Miami Heat that was just torching the Lakers in the finals and just showing this display at such a young age in the playoffs and just in general. And I'm just like, what if they can get him back to that? Not just that, he has a guy named LeBron James who's going to be able to make him the best version of himself. Like, I just feel like you're better off keeping Nunn, seeing what he can be, because he may be able to be a Coby White, but more effective. Be able to do more, be another ball handler, a guy who can play on and off the ball. I don't know. I just don't think Coby White is the best choice for the Lakers, personally. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions, whether you agree, disagree, and however you feel, and everywhere in between. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.